Welcome back to the adventures, guys. This time we're returning to Call of Cthulhu to do some ancient Egyptian scenery for our games. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe so you don't miss out anything in the future. So for those of you that don't know, we mainly focus on miniature wargaming, but also role-playing is an interest of myself and a lot of the people who watch. So we're doing a bit of Call of Cthulhu. It's kind of the running thing that I'm working on at the moment. These figures themselves I found online and 3D printed them out. I got into 3D printing about 6 months ago, and it's been a real help across the board. So if you haven't got one and are thinking about it, I would definitely recommend it. If you've got any questions regarding 3D printing, just let me know and I can do my bit to try and help out. But once they were printed and all cleaned up and ready to go, I started off with a grey base coat. And then over the top of the grey base coat we're going in with model colour US field drab, and I chose that because it's a nice sort of light brown, so it's quite a good base colour for sort of a sandy texture, at least in my opinion anyway. Sandstone I think would work quite nicely. But I guess depending on whether you're using these for a real world sort of ancient Egyptian scene, or heck, you could be using these sort of things for a futuristic layout. They could be almost Necron-like, and you could have them in black and green, who knows. Yeah, if you've ever done anything like that, leave some comments below so that we can find out a bit more. But yeah, really the sky is the limit. So yeah, let me know down below. Some of you have already mentioned in previous videos that you've played, but if you are new to the channel, let me know below if you've ever played or whether you'd be interested in playing Call of Cthulhu. Not even just that, but do you play any other role-playing games? I mean, I quite enjoy Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons, as well as the actual miniature wargaming. Are you just a wargamer, or do you also enjoy role-playing games as well? So next up we're going to be making it all a little bit lighter. We're just going to be dry brushing now with khaki. Again, that's from Game Colour. So one of the sort of techniques that I like to do is build up using sort of dry brushing, and then I put a wash over the top of all of that, and then dry brush a final time afterwards. So that's what we're going to be doing today as well. But yeah, so we've got the the US field drab first as the base coat, and then the khaki as our next layer up, and just dry brushed on, picking out those details. I mean, overall, my style of painting, I'm never going to probably be the best painter in the world. Heck, I wouldn't really want to be. I like to get my miniatures painted to a good standard that I'm happy with them to be on the table and they're not an embarrassment. But I'm not the sort of person who's going to want to spend hours and hours and hours on them to try and get them as showpieces. Hat off to you if you are that person, because yeah, some of them look fantastic. But for me, I just paint for A, the enjoyment, but B, just to get them ready for the table, because for me, gaming's what it's really all about, although I do enjoy the painting. So that's what these sort of techniques that I use are really tailored towards, is just getting quick, effective miniatures on the table that you can be pretty happy with. Now I do have to admit, there's something about dry brushing, I think I've said it before, but I find dry brushing in and of itself very, very relaxing and very rewarding. Maybe I'm strange. Let me know below if you think I'm strange or if you also enjoy doing it. Especially when I find if I've sort of based something with like sand first, and then built up from there, dry brushing over the sand, so it just really picks the highlights. Yeah, really rewarding for me. So next up I used Game Colour Bright Bronze just to pick out any of the bracelets, the greaves, ornamentation on this sort of statue, just to bring those out. I kind of got the idea for that from the pretty terrible mummy film, which was The Scorpion King. Some of the statues in that had bronze and gold all over them, so that's where I got that idea from. Anyway, next we get back to the highlighting itself of the statues. And we're using Bone White from Game Colour. And this is quite a nice colour, I do enjoy doing it. Using this colour makes me want to actually create a skeleton warband, like an undead skeleton warband. Maybe I will one day, but yeah, something about this paint just does it for me. But yeah, this is the final highlight on the figures now, so just put it on, picking out all those top spots. So I've just found a couple of solo campaigns for Cthulhu called Alone. The one I'm using is Alone Against the Flames, and it's kind of one of those old books where you kind of choose your own adventure, and you have like option 1, finish what it says, and it'll be like go to page 254, and then on 54 you've got different options, and so you just advance through the book. It's pretty interesting, and I'm trying to figure out a way of turning that into a video, maybe a review, so keep watching. Then if you've got a base which has quite a few parts on it, like here we've got 4 different figures, well, 3 figures, but one of them's smashed to pieces. Just take it easy, don't put too much paint on, just very lightly dry brush, and just try and avoid, where possible, the brass, but if you do get it, you can always go back over it a second time, so it's not the end of the world, but just be careful. The last thing you want to do at this stage is ruin your piece. And then going back to the Pick Your Own Adventures booklets, there are a couple of others, so if that one goes well and people find it interesting, then I will go back and talk about the other 2. One of them I think is set up in Canada or some of the northern states of America in like the deep woods, and another one I think you're on an ocean liner, so they could be quite interesting, especially if you're on yourself and you're just looking for something to do. I've quite enjoyed playing the first one. My character got burnt alive. Through no fault of my own. Actually, it was all my fault because I chose the path, but it's a very fun little thing to do, so I will be doing a review on that at some point in the next few weeks. So overall, I think that they've come out pretty well. Next job is to base them, just using sand is what I did, and then I applied some PVA and water over the top to seal it all in place. And I think they've come out really well. For my adventurers to be able to dig around in some sort of tomb, I think they'll do the job quite nicely. So I hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave some comments down below, and I'll see you next time.